Hi everyone, welcome to Simply Narelle. I am Narelle from Simply Narelle, and this is another FlossTube, and I'm up to number 3. Wow, not a lot, but it's a start, and I didn't think I'd be making these at all. So if you're new to my channel, then I have a history of papercraft, so you will find most of the videos on my channel are paper crafting videos with the 3 floss tubes thrown in. And I actually do have to get back to my paper crafting videos as well, because I've got quite a few messages from people asking, are you giving Stampin' Up away? Are you not doing the paper craft tutorials anymore? The answer is no, I'm still doing them. And I've just been really slack and haven't done any for quite a few months. So I sort of got sidetracked lately with my sewing and my stitching, hence the start of the floss tubes. But I promise I'll get back to the paper crafting videos as well. And if you are into paper crafting and don't want to watch these floss tubes or vice versa, then when you jump onto my YouTube channel, you'll see I've got 2 playlists. One is for the floss tubes and one's for the paper crafting. So rather than filtering through all the different videos to find the ones you're looking for what you're interested in, just go to the appropriate playlist and you'll find what you're after. Alright, so this video is going to be about my cross stitching and what I've done in the last few weeks, because I think it's been 2, maybe 3 weeks. 2 weeks, I think, since I've done a floss tube. And one of the reasons for that is because I've been busy making project bags, and they're really addictive, and I made quite a few. So, but anyway, and I've got notes this time because I did forget a few things last time, so I thought I'd make some notes so I wouldn't forget anything. First of all, I want to thank all my new subscribers. It's so exciting to get lots of people subscribing. And if you like what you see in this video or in previous videos, please subscribe and hit the little bell so that you'll get notification when I do my next video. And I love having new friends join me, so I'm planning a little giveaway when I get to the 1,000 subscriber mark. So I think what's today, the 23rd of August, so it's Sunday. Sorry, today, 23rd of August. It's actually like 10 to 8 here in Brisbane. And when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a little giveaway. And I think at the moment we are 651, I think, subscribers. So you can be a FlossTube liker. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. Or a paper crafter. Doesn't matter. But when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will have a little giveaway. So yeah, subscribe and you might be in the draw for a little prize. Right, so I said I haven't done a lot of stitching in the last couple of weeks because I've been busy making the project bags, and they're really addictive. Made quite a few. I'll show you them later. I've joined a few Facebook groups and watched a lot of FlossTube in the last few weeks. So the groups I'll talk about in a minute. And I also broke my no spending rule. So if you watch my first and second videos, you will know that I have put myself on a no spending ban. So because I have so many project kits waiting to be done, I decided I wasn't going to spend anything else on my stitching until I had done all that I have. Well, because I watched a lot of FlossTube videos, and therefore ended up in a few different groups and things like that, I've seen some really nice stuff, and I broke my rule. So I'll tell you that later. And the other thing I wanted to just talk about was so much has changed since I stitched 19, 20 years ago. There's all of these new terms now, like cells and whips and 2/1, and it's like my mind was boggling, and I had no idea what people were talking about. And there's grime guards and Q-snaps and all sorts of things. So I did a bit of Googling and found out a few things. And the cells is a stitch along. Well, I didn't know that. And it reminds me, all these acronyms remind me of a job I used to have. I used to work for Amway head office, I don't know, 12, 15 years ago. And they had so many acronyms that someone actually gave me a document of a couple of pages of all the acronyms. And it's like, this is ridiculous. Like, seriously. So I started thinking, what's happening to the stitching world with all these acronyms? But once you Google them and you understand, they all make sense. Yes, so I wanted to do a shout out to Jan Hicks, and I will link her channel below. because she told me about a new group in her latest FlossTube, and it's called Monthly Magazine Challenge. And it's really cool. And I joined the group, of course, because it's like fear of missing out. You have to join everything. So I joined it. And basically what it is their two girls have started, two ladies have started, sorry, they're probably not girls, they're quite mature ladies, maybe not mature, I'm going to get myself into trouble. They're probably not old, they're probably not little girls, but they're women, anyway, who started this group. And the idea is to get you stitching from your stash of magazines. Most people buy a lot of magazines, flip through them and go, oh, that's really nice, I'd like to make that one day, and then they stick them in the cupboard or on the shelf and then never look at them again. Well, they decided that's a bit of a waste and we need to get people stitching out of those magazines. So they started this challenge, and they were going to wait until next year, but they couldn't wait that long. So they started now, and it starts off in 1st of September, but you can join the group now. And so I jumped in and joined, and I thought that's really cool because if you remember, I went to the op shop, which is like a thrift shop here in Australia, and I got a heap of those old magazines. So I thought, this is brilliant. I can find patterns out of these to stitch, which was all very well until I found the pattern I wanted and then realised that, well, the chart isn't in the magazine anymore. So it must have been a pull out and someone's pulled it out, stitched it or whatever, donated the magazine, and now that is useless to me because there's no chart. So I did end up finding one that had the chart I'm going to possibly stitch, but then I thought, well, like all those 20 magazines that I got, I think like 3 or 4 of them had the graphs, the charts for what I wanted to stitch. So I went, well, that's pretty useless, that's not going to work. So the first time I broke my no spend rule is I got a digital subscription to the magazine. What's it called? Wait, I wrote my notes. Just Cross Stitch magazine. So it's a digital subscription. And I got 3 years. Sorry, 3 years subscription. It was like $45 or something US. It was really cheap compared to the price of the magazines to buy. So I thought that was really cool. And I downloaded a heap of those, and then I picked one from one of those magazines I'm going to stitch for this monthly magazine challenge. And they also have an acrostic. So they have a theme, and then they have an acrostic as well. So an acrostic is a word, and then each letter of the word stands for something. So the theme, I'm not going to give the theme away, you have to join the group to find out, but the acrostic is leaves. So you've got L4, E4, V4, etc. So and you have to find something for that letter to stitch. And they're really relaxed and laid back group. And it doesn't have to be from the magazines for the acrostic. So mine is going to be a mix of whips that I've got and a new start. And I think the one I've chosen for the theme is filled up a couple of those letters as well. So I'm going to link to that group as well below. Love to see you in there. It's lots and lots of fun. Lovely, lovely bunch. And some of the stuff people are going to be stitching is amazing. And I'll show you in a minute what I've chosen. I also want to shout out to Shirley McKinney from Chankle Stitches. And again, I'll link her channel below. She said in her last video about the September sampler soiree. And that sounded lots of fun because I have fallen in love with samplers. I always have liked samplers, but I haven't really done them much. And I don't know why. Part of the reason, I think, is because I like things very, symmetrical. So it's got to be like the same. So it'll be like even, I guess. I think that's what they mean when they say symmetrical. So a lot of the old samplers were different things all over the place with the alphabet, and I liked them to be the same. So if you had a motif on the one side, you had the same motif on the other side, not completely different shapes and stuff. My head couldn't get around that. It had to be neat and tidy and symmetrical. So that's why I didn't like a lot of the samplers. But I've changed my mind on them. 360, totally. Anyway, so this September sampler soiree is run by Senorita Stitches. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. and I will link below to a video from her as well. And it's just a hashtag. So if you're sharing your stitching work on social media, use the hashtag. And she loved to see it. I don't know if she has a group. I don't remember seeing one. I could be wrong. But the idea is in September, you work on your samplers. And it originally started about 3 years ago, I think, on the reproduced samplers. So all the samplers that were done like in the 1800s and stuff you see in museums and things, people have reproduced those into charts and sell the charts and people stitch them. And if you do that type of sampler, which is based on an old original sampler, there's a hashtag to use that called September Sampler Soiree. And the other thing you can do is a sampler that's based around the old ones, but not an exact replica. So I've got one of my kits I pulled out to use for my, what was the other thing? The monthly magazine challenge. One of the samplers that sample I've pulled out goes with the acrostic, the S for leaves. So I'll show you that as well. And if you use those type of samplers, then you use the hashtag Sampler September. And I've probably made a real hash of explaining that. So I'm going to link below the video by Cinerita Stitches, and she can explain it much better than me. It's her idea, so I'm only hashing it and doing it a really bad job. So, right, so I've got 2 samplers in my stash, and I'm going to use them. One is quite modern, I think, so I don't know. It doesn't really fit into her hashtaggy thing, but it's still a sampler, hey. So, and it's a good idea to get as much of your stash done as you can. So now, I wanted to show you, before I show you my whips, I wanted to show you my project bags. I've been stitching madly these project bags, and they're really addictive, but can I tell you, the vinyl to work with is a pain in the butt. But if you really like the vinyl, I'll keep making the vinyl bags. But I'm going to make a few more that are not vinyl front. They're just all fabric front. So I've made these. And someone reminded me on a comment today on one of my last FlossTube. I'm sorry, I did not list them on my store. I put them on my Etsy store, but not my Simply Narelle store. I'm sorry. So this is what they look like. So this is a smaller one. This is 9.5 inches by 9.5 approximately. Beautiful Tilda fabrics if you're a Tilda fan. So that is one. So all nicely quilted. The zip front. And I forgot to make zipper pulls. I will make zipper pulls to add to them before I ship them. So beautiful. Look at that fabric. Oh, so pretty. So I love Tilda fabrics. I love anything floral, but Tilda's really nice. So I made some Tilda ones. There's another one. This one is 12.5 by 12.5 with the vinyl front. And you have to know if you're going to buy these. So these are for sale. This is, the smaller one is $20 and the big ones are $25. Okay. You have to know if you're going to buy these from me, and I'm not trying to discourage you from buying them, but if you really like them and want to buy them, you have to know that they're handmade and so perfectly imperfect. So there might be the odd corner that's not done properly. And my stitching, I machine stitch. I don't have the patience to sit and hand bind. So I bind with my machine. So you'll find that sometimes I run off the edge. It's all still stitched together and not going to fall apart and really pretty to look at. But it's not perfect. So, you know, if you can get over the perfectly imperfect, feel free to buy them. So, like I said, they're listed on my Etsy store, which I'll link below, and also my Simply Narelle store, which I'll link below. Here's another one. This one's 13.5 by 13.5. So I think I've got a few more on there as well. I'm using some. So I've got another one like this. So I'll take out my project so you can see the pretty material, because it's pretty on the back, but it's also pretty on the inside. See the pretty? So much pretty. I've got so much fabric. I can go on making these for years. But I've only got a few more for vinyl. So I've only got enough vinyl for a few more. I can buy more vinyl and make vinyl ones if people want the vinyl. Just let me know. If you prefer fabric or vinyl, comment below so I know roughly what I'm making. Okay, so that's the project bags. Oh, and I've also got this style, which is a little bit littler. I don't know the dimensions on this. I think it's 10 by 9, 11 by 9, something like that. So this is a different one. It's just held together with a elastic and a button. Similar idea. Okay, so I'm also going to make some of these, so different styles, because everyone's got different tastes. Different styles, different tastes. Have to, can't get this one done up. Have to accommodate everyone. And the zippered ones I'm going to do, like I said, with the fabric and not the vinyl front. So, alright, so now, I have only stitched on one cross stitch the last 2 weeks. I've done nothing to any others, so I'm not even going to bother showing you them. Alright, so this one I have worked on exclusively, and I've done quite a bit. So let's put that on. This is quite a dark, well, not, it's a beige, so you might not see through it. Alright, so look at that. Pretty, pretty roses. This rose was done twice, so that's probably why I've only done a little bit. Well, actually, I think last time I'd done this rose and a little bit here, but I've done this rose and these ones up here. Right, I have unpicked a lot, and I frogged. You know, when I watched the first FlossTube, what is this frogging they're talking about? I had no idea. I still don't know what it means, but basically it's, well, actually, I don't know why it's called frogging. Someone can comment below and let me know. But that's when you unpick the stitches you've done. I frogged quite a bit on this. I was so annoyed because, first of all, when I was doing this big rose, I'd made a couple of these colours were 1 or 2 squares out. And I went, and it was only like when I was down here, I went, that's fine, I can work around it. Until I got, the problem obviously kept building on itself. And I got to like up here and it's like, it was totally distorted. And I went, no, I can't live with that. Because there was like one whole colour that I needed to miss out, one whole section. I'm going, no, that's just going to work. So I pulled that out and started again. And then I was looking at my threads. This is embarrassing. I was looking at my threads, okay, which, oh my God, it gets so tangled. I'm going to go to the ring system I see a lot of other people doing, where they actually put them on cards, individual cards on a ring. I think that's so much better. Right, I'm pulling out some of these colours and I'm going, you know, I haven't used that colour. What is that colour? I haven't used it. So I went back to the thread. I went back to the chart. It's called gold, okay. Now, you know what else they give you in this kit? Gold, metallic. Right, so I went back to look at the chart and I went, yeah, that's gold, that's fine. I had stitched, now it's here, you'll see that goldy colour on these flowers, on the buds. Right, I had misread the gold and went, gold, there must be the metallic gold. So instead of using the gold cotton thread, I used the metallic thread, and it was sitting horrible, and the stitches were so untidy and looked disgusting. And in, I think it must be Jan Hicks Facebook group I was in, I put up a post and said, literally 5 minutes before I looked at that and went, what is that colour that I haven't used? And I put up a post and went, how do you get the metallic threads to sit nicely? I have a kit that I'm stitching that it says to use 1 dark pink, 1 gold strand for these sections, but half of the stitches are gold sitting under the cotton because it's so much finer than your cotton, and it just looked horrible and it looked really messy. And then I sat and went 5 minutes later, what is this colour that I haven't used? And they went, oh, okay, so when they said gold on the chart, they didn't mean metallic gold. No, no, no. They meant the gold cotton. And I went, oh, my gosh. So I had done, I think, this one down here, this one and this one by that stage. So I had to unpick them I had to frog them as well. And then I went, how can I be so stupid? Then I had another look at the chart, and the gold metallic is just a little bit used in the border. So I think it's those, as you can see, sorry, the speckles. That's not picking it up very well. Right, so there's like speckles here. I think that's the gold metallic. That's all it's used for. All right, oh my gosh. So that's probably why I didn't get as much progress done as I should have, because I spent quite a bit of time frogging. And I still don't know why it's called frogging. Please someone tell me. I need to know these things, because it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just unpicking. So that's my only work in progress I have to show you. The others didn't get touched, but what I want to show you, this is another project bag that I've got for sale. See the pretty inside? I love this one. Very pretty. Alright, so I was talking about the September Sampler Soiree. And I have this one, this kit that I've had a long time. And to me, this looks like it's based on an old, it's got that look of an old sampler. So I'm going to start that one in September for the September sampler. Doesn't totally fit the criteria, but hey, it's a sampler. So that's going to get started. And then, oh, the other one I have to show you for the monthly magazine challenge is, I'm going to have to show you the theme. The theme's autumn. Yeah. Sorry if I let out a secret. Alright, so this is from a magazine. I'm doing this. He's chopped off a little bit. Let me see if I can get the other bit. This is from some digital magazine. I don't know which one. The one that I've subscribed to. I don't know what issue, whatever. I don't think we have squirrels in Australia. But he's really nice. And when I saw him, I went, oh, I really like him. I have to do him. So I'm going to do him. And my goal is to get him finished in September. Now, it'll be interesting. So, when I did this one, I was still on my, not going to buy anything, okay, to make this. And I've lost my fabric. Where's my fabric go? I have my fabric aside, and it didn't make it into the bag. Oh, no. Look, everything else. Oh, bugger. I have to find that now. So I sorted out my threads. I don't have any of the called fors on the chart. None, not a one. Actually, I might have black and white. They're pretty basic. I don't have anything others. So, any of the others, I should say. And because I was in my, I'm not buying anything new, I got out all my unopened kits and looked at all the flosses and went, okay, that's a similar colour. I'm going to change it. So I have substituted. So all these are substituted. And I've pinched and repeated to pay Paul. These are all from the sampler kit. So I'm liking the colour palette that I have. I think it's going to be really pretty. And I'm hoping that I have enough of these, because the kit I pulled these from had some weird numbers. It wasn't DMC, it wasn't Anchor, I don't know what they were, and the kit's really old. So I've got like oranges and stuff with squirrels, so I'm hoping that they're going to be enough and close enough for the squirrel. So he's only a like 8 by 10 squirrel, I think, so I'm hoping I've got enough. We shall see. So, come back in September for progress on my squirrel. And now I've got to find that fabric. Oh no, I don't know what I've done with it. It should be in there. It's not. Alright. Okay. So, that brings me on to, let me see my notes. Yeah, my haul. Theoretically, I shouldn't have a haul, because I'm on a no spending spree But I watched one too many FlossTube, sorry, where they showed this, and I had to buy it. Look what I got. Pandemic. Oh my gosh, I have seen this in so many different colors. It is beautiful when it's stitched. Now, I looked at this first up and went, my brain went, that's not even, that's not symmetrical, nothing lines up with anything else. It's just like a mess, is what I thought first up. I went, you know the old term, looks like a dog's breakfast? That's what I thought. But then I saw people stitching it, and it looks amazing. So I bought it. And now I'm trying to find fabric for it and floss for it and deciding on the colours. And I think I'm going to go variegated greens and purples, because I've seen people do it in one colour. I saw someone doing it in white floss on a blue material. I've seen people doing it in black and white, red and white. I know someone, I think it's Jan's, picking out the colours as she goes. And it's like, no, I have always wanted to use a variegated thread. So I've decided, I think it's tulip, variegated thread from DMC is what I'm going to do. Now I've just got to find enough of it. And then working out how big the material is I wanted to do. It's going to be huge. And then I have to rubber bank to frame it. But anyway, I did it. I bought it. So I broke my rule. And then, of course, while I was on the Long Dog site, and I went, I really like how that one's stitched up. I may have bought a few more. So, yes, I really broke my rule. I saw this one and it was called Anzac. What drew me to it was the kangaroos and the map of Australia and the magpie. And I went, I have to have that. I'm Australian. I have to have this. And the magpies, I tell you, they're special to our family. My parents moved up here to Brisbane 20 years ago. And in that whole 20-year period till they passed a few years ago, they fed magpies in their backyard. And the magpies would come up and twice a day, or maybe more sometimes, and they'd feed them. And they brought back, because when magpies breed, they pair up and have the same pair for life. And they would keep bringing their new babies back every year. And if mum and dad weren't paying attention when they came up, they'd walk up to the back sliding glass door and they'd tap on the glass with their beaks, or they'd hop up on the window ledge of the kitchen and tap on the kitchen window. And people say to give them mints and stuff, which, you know, they tried. But you know what they liked? Country cheese biscuits by Arnott's. Oh, my God. You just crumble it up and they go crazy for them. Probably not the best diet for them, but anyway. So they fed them for 20 years. And so we all love magpies because they are beautiful animals and they're so friendly. They have a bad rap because they swoop on people at mating season. But these birds raise their babies in the trees behind Mum and Dad's place. They had a nature reserve behind them full of gum trees and stuff. So you'd see the koalas in the trees and the kangaroos and stuff. And the magpies would nest in one of the trees up there. And even though, like, you'd be in Mum and Dad's backyard, normally, if you were that close to the nest, they'd swoop you. But because Mum and Dad fed them all the time, they never ever swooped us. They're amazing animals. So someone's just messaged me. So I had to get this. All right, I'll have to cut that out. All right, so yes, I had to get this one. Then my mind had, by this stage, by the time I got this one with the Anzac thing and it not being symmetrical, even, it's all over the place. My mind had gotten over it needed to be symmetrical, and I fell in love with all these samplers. So I had to get more. All right, sorry. Count your blessings. I really love this. You know what I love the most? This border. Beautiful. So Count Your Blessings by Long Dog Samplers. I'll link their website below. Really pretty. I don't know if I'm going to do those colours. I probably will. It's too hard trying to choose colours. Then, descending order. Look at this. Oh, and I love these colours. I'm going to do it in these colours. May not be till 20 years, but hey, really nice. There's another one. See, I bought a few. I definitely broke my no spend rule, didn't I? Crossword. Look at that. Look at the words. Oh, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So, yeah, I had to get that one too. And wait, there's more. And then The Love of Two Hearts. And these are actually really quite inexpensive, the charts. So, I don't know, $14. One was $7, one was $9.14. Pandemic was the most expensive, I think. And apparently, I found out that there was a time that you could download Pandemic for free. I'm really sad because I had to buy it. But anyway, it's beautiful. I love this. Again, it's a bit more symmetrical, so it's probably why I like that one so much. Then, Paws and Claws. So there's still a few more after this. I went crazy, didn't I? How am I going to stick to my rule of no spending? And because we have a dog and a cat, I had to get this one. We nearly lost our little puppy today. So sad. Well, we decided to go for a drive because hubby's got training next week. So we're still not that familiar with Brisbane, so he didn't know where he was going. So we thought we'll go for a drive today to find exactly where he's got to be tomorrow morning. Of course, in peak hour tomorrow morning, get in there. It's like, oh, all new roads, I know where I'm going. So let's go for a drive and find out where this place is. We'll take the puppy along, and we'll take him for a walk because it wasn't that far from Victoria Point. If you know Victoria Point, nice grassland and picnic areas and stuff. We'll take the puppy for a walk. So we got there and we put his harness on and took him out, and he started walking away from the car, and then all of a sudden my husband had the lead, and all of a sudden he's like, there's no weight on this lead, and there's the dog running off in the distance. Oh, he got out of his harness somehow, and because he's only 8 months old, he's got no road sense. He doesn't come when you ask him to. He's got that selective deafness phase happening. So I'm standing at the car with the water bowl and the bottle because they're about to give him a drink because it's quite a long drive there, and watching my husband and my daughter chase him around the park trying to catch him, panicking because what are we going to do if we can't get him? Like, it's near a road. There was buses around. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, they eventually caught him and we got him back to the car, and they went, we are not game to take this dog for another walk. But I think we worked out that when we put the harness on, it was right way round, like as in the bit on the bottom was on the bottom, should have been there, and the top. But it was like what was at the front should have been at the back, so we needed to like turn it around, if that makes any sense. So we did that in the car when we realised it was on wrong when we put it on at home. And I think one of his legs wasn't quite through the harness properly, and we didn't notice. And he got it out, and then he could just walk out of the harness, and off he went. Oh. So then we went, that's it, we're going home now because we're all so traumatised that we nearly lost our cute little puppy. Anyway, so here we go. That's why I'm a bit of a mess because it's all windy today, and it's like, oh. Anyway, here, look at this one. This is another one I bought, Spangled. Look at that starry border. Oh, I love it. And the colours. Oh, wow. Beautiful. All right, I think there's one more. Last one. The Wishing Tree. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So these are all patterns that you get the PDF and you download the PDF, and they're done in pages. So I'm going to show you the chart, but they're all quite good, easy to read charts. So love it. Long Dog Samplers. So I'll link to them below. That's it for me today. I don't think there's anything else I need to let you know about. If there is, I will pop on again and let you know. But thanks for watching. I love having you here. And if you like my videos, my ramblings of my mind, and a little bit of stitching thrown in, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the little button so you get notified. It's a little bell symbol. So you get notified when I'm on again next. And I hope to be back with some paper crafting videos during the week, and I will see you all next week, hopefully. If not, be back when I'm back. And in the meantime, keep safe and happy stitching. Bye-bye.